5 years ago, I was invited onto trials, trying to get my health back. I can't climb a flight of stairs without stopping. You know, it's soul destroying.
The end result is to improve quality of life, improve survival, and to reduce the burden within the healthcare system.
Earlier this year, the Patient Recruitment Centre, based at the Bradford Institute for Health Research here at BRI, recruited the first participants in Europe for 2 new clinical trials investigating innovative potential treatments for respiratory conditions. This week, we'll hear from Professor Dinesh Saralaya about how the trials will bring new treatments for those suffering with asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease in our community. We'll also hear from Anthony Eyre, one of the participants, about why he volunteered to be part of the trial.
In 2020, we became one of 5 National Institute for Health Research patient recruitment centres. For medicine to evolve, research forms an integral part of any innovation. Research is particularly relevant to a city like Bradford. It has a very high disease burden. We have higher incidences of respiratory illnesses like asthma and COPD.
My diagnosis started, first of all, when I was in the forces, and I started with chest problems. I was in the Royal Marines, and I was very, very fit, you have to be, to do the commando course. The pass-out test was, you do a 9-mile speed march, you do a Tarzan course, which is through the trees, an endurance course, which is tunnels filled with water. The final day is 30 miles over Dartmoor, which you have to do in 7.5 hours, carrying about 40 pounds. And you can't do that if you're not fit. That's when you get your green beret. When I first started noticing a problem, I was stationed to Malta. It got really warm and we had to do some speed marches, and I just started getting out of breath. I went through further tests, the diagnosis as asthma. I couldn't do my job as I was trained to do, and they decided I couldn't carry on. And then later on, I got a medical discharge. Later on, they said it was COPD. I can't climb a flight of stairs without stopping. You know, it's soul destroying.
Bradford is the highest recruiting centre across the country, the whole of the UK, into these asthma and COPD trials. Till date, we have conducted over 40 trials, recruiting over 1,300 patients, which has not only brought cutting-edge treatments to the city of Bradford, but enabled our patients to take part and access this technology well before they appear in this part of the world, but across the world as well. Every single treatment today which is available in the NHS for our severe asthma patients have gone through some stage of its development in Bradford.
5 years ago, I was invited onto trials, trying to get my health back, trying to be able to breathe a little bit better so I can walk a bit farther with the dog.
So we recruit on an average today, we will have over 50 patients taking part. But what they do is not only help develop innovations in treatment, they have better outcomes. They do not suffer from the harmful effects of asthma. They do not pose a burden to our healthcare system by coming to our accident emergency departments and getting admitted to the wards.
You don't just get the treatment for the trial, you get all the tests that you could wish for. And if there's something comes up that's not right, you get treated for it. I discovered while I was on this, I had a heart problem, which they picked up on one of the scans, which now I'm getting treated for, which I wouldn't have found out otherwise.
So if you take part in a trial, you're going to get better care because you're looked after by the research team. You get the oversight of myself as an expert in the field of severe asthma and COPD. As part of taking part in these trials, they maintain diaries, they have to maintain visits, they regularly visit our unit, so they get examined, they get observed, and subtle variations in their disease are picked up very early rather than leading to the late stage for them to go to their GPs or come to our accident and emergency department.
And whatever comes out of it, you'll have helped someone somewhere, and that's what it's about.
Our patients have played a very important role in developing these medicines. The end result is to improve quality of life, improve survival, and to reduce the burden within the healthcare system.